Hello everyone, Games here, and today I'm going to show you my build for Synoid Gammacor. You can get this weapon for Sefil and Suda. So, first of all, I want to say this is one of the best secondary weapons in the game. I find it actually the best one, because not only it does the most damage of all, but it has magnetic damage on its own as base damage. So let's get into the build. First of all, you want little torrent, because the more fire rate you have on this weapon is the better. You will do a lot more damage, plus it gives 60% multi-shot, which is really helpful. Hornet strike to boost our damage, of course. Barrel diffusion for more multi-shot. Now pathogen rounds, pistol pestilence, convulsion and jolt are only for corrosive damage to max out the corrosive we can make, because I usually play more missions in the void and I don't really need anything else, but you can go with this build in any faction. It will also destroy all the infested and the corpors, because the weapon has magnetic damage and it just melts all the corpus. So I think this is the best elemental mods you should use. And if you have 4 corrosive projections in your team and you go to the void, you should use viral. This is why I got my primed heated charge yesterday from the void trader. So lastly, you want anemic agility. It will drop your damage by 15%, but it will boost your fire rate by 90%. So this will compensate and for the loss of the 15% damage, and it will boost it a lot more. If you don't have anemic agility and you just don't like to lose that 15% damage, you can use Gunslinger. I don't have it, but I believe it gives around 70% fire rate. So yes, if you go to the void and you have 4 corrosive projections, just use viral. I will switch jolt or pistol pestilence for primed heated charge, even if I don't have 4 corrosive projections in my team, because I use this weapon mostly on Nova, and this Synoid Gammacor can kill the enemies very easily, and it starts to fall off in like 50 plus minutes of T4 survival, and then I'm just starting to use my antimatter drop, so it doesn't really matter what elemental mods you have, as long as you boost your damage. So this is why I'll use prime heated charge, because it will boost my damage with 165% at max rank. It will be very hard, but I can currently level it to ranked 9. I have enough fusion cores, and we'll probably max it in far future, because it's not worth so many fusion cores, so many credits just for one rank and 50% extra hit damage that this one rank will give me. But yes, I will switch pistol pestilence or jolt for this at rank 9, and it will help me a lot with boosting the damage on my antimatter drop a lot more than if I use Pistol Pestilence or Jolt, because it gives only 60% extra electricity or toxic damage. And this is basically the build. Oh yeah, you can switch maybe anemic agility or convulsion something from the elemental mods or anemic agility for Seeker. It will really help you with that punch through, dealing with a lot of enemies. Some people do prefer to use Seeker, but I use Synoid Gammacor mostly in late game. I use my Opticore for like 40 minutes of T4 survival, then I switch to my Synoid Gammacor because it will help me kill the enemies faster even without punch through. The reason why I'm using Opticore until 40 minutes and not using Synoid Gammacor from the start is because though the Synoid Gammacor has 20 or 25 meter range, and I believe it was 20. So Opticore, I have Shred in there, and there is no range on Opticore, no limitation range, and it just helps me kill the enemies a lot faster, also because it does that splash damage when the attack from the Opticore hits the ground, and it helps me kill the enemies a lot faster with that splash. And yes, but I start using Synoid Gammacor after the 40 minutes because as I said, I use it mostly on my Nova, and from like 40 minutes I start using M Prime if I'm with my slow build, and then I can use safely Synoid Gammacor because as I said, it has 20 meter range, and I don't really want to get close to them because they can very easily kill me after 40 minutes, and M Prime does help me a lot, but I don't prefer using Synoid Gammacor if they are not slowed, because if you get too close to them you might get killed because Nova is a very squishy Warframe. And yes, this is basically why I use Opticore until I start using M Prime, and when I switch to Synoid Gammacor I played with it for like 20 more minutes until 1 hour, and then I start using my antimatter drop with Synoid Gammacor combo. It does very insane damage. I've done 2 hours of T4 survival, and the enemies got around 320 levels. I'm not really sure, but it was above 300 levels, and they were M primed, and I used antimatter drop and fully charged until the antimatter drop got out of range of my Synoid Gammacor. So I've charged my antimatter drop for 20 meters of shooting with Synoid Gammacor, and when I landed on the enemies that were M primed, we are talking about millions of damage here, and the enemies, some of the enemies didn't die from just one antimatter drop. They were like with 20% health left, but very few of them. So in very late game, maybe after 3 hours of survival, your antimatter drop will start being like a bit useless, and you probably would want to ask your teammates to boost it with their weapons as well, so you can kill the enemies. But yes, especially for antimatter drop, I find the Synoid Gammacor the best weapon in this game that can charge your antimatter drop, because it does very insane damage. And yes, okay, so if you have any questions about this build, leave them in the comments below. I will also will try to make video soon for some run, maybe T1 to T2 survival. The reason why I'm doing T1 or T2 survival runs and not T3 or T4 is because in T3 or T4 there are these nullifiers, and they basically mess up with me a lot if I solo. So I just want to show you how good the weapons are, the builds are, without I mean, I want to show you guys the builds that I'm using on my weapons and Warframes in enemies around 100ish level, and I can't reach 100ish level solo on T4 with this nullifier, so that's why I'm making